My wife was in the room watching it, and I was like, "Babe, you ain't gonna believe this story." And I told her about, and you may not even remember this, when
Are you
we
talking
were
about the barge?
stuck on the river at Callion in the middle of the night.
Yes.
Dude, I would crap myself if one of my kids was down on the river at Callion. Like, that's a
Luckily, it had
long
that
way from
trolling
where we're
motor.
from. Dude, in the middle, what were we even doing?
We were fishing. Welcome, everyone. This is the Pines to Pews podcast. I'm Landon.
I'm Blake.
Thank you all for being here. All 2 or 5 or 50 or however many people are going to be here. We're excited to have you. Just wanted to talk a little bit about what this podcast is going to be. Then we'll get into it. But so the name Pines to Pews is got a couple of meanings, but it's Blake and I both met each other in Smackover, South Arkansas. Lots of pines. That's kind of where we grew up. A lot of our stories are probably going to be coming from the pines. And then to where we are now, both of us trying to lead our families as Christian men. It's led us into the church, and so that's where the Pews part of it comes from. What do you want to get started talking on today, Blake?
Not a whole lot. Things that come to mind right off the bat for the first podcast is just kind of explaining. I would like to go a little more in depth of what we're doing here.
Yeah.
I'm sure the first people that'll see that, actually, I know the first people that'll see this is people that know us like super duper well, right? Because no one's going to listen to this.
Yeah.
Because what do we bring to the table?
Exactly.
Absolutely nothing. Just to go ahead and put that out there. Not a single thing. We're really just a couple degenerate friends from high school that were pretty much good for nothings. Most of the people that see this will agree with that, probably. We both kind of went our own ways in life. He went up North Arkansas, and I ended up in North Louisiana. And we both been doing our thing for a little over a decade, honestly. And we just recently kind of started chit chatting a little bit more. I mean, we've kept in touch and everything, and seen each other here and there, but we really hadn't spent a lot of time. But it's kind of funny what time does, because here we are, and both of us we came back to the table with similar interests, but this time not as degenerates. This time we have similar interests of growing our family, walking with the Lord, being men, leading other men to Christ and women to Christ. But also, we didn't lose that edge, and that like we always were joking, we always were clowning. I haven't stopped that. I know you haven't either. So hopefully we can have a platform where we get on here, shoot the breeze. Others who are like-minded or are interested, listen. We're going to talk a lot of crap. We're going to tell stories, and we're going to crack open the word every time. So
Exactly. Yeah. And like just bouncing off of what you're saying, like our main goal is for this to be a platform, just like as part of our ministry. Our biggest thing is we want to reach more people, telling them about Christ, what He's done for us, but also it's just in our blood. It's who we are. We're gonna have a lot of fun, and we're gonna laugh. I have no idea if anyone else will think we're funny, but 100%, I think you're hilarious. Always have, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
ditto.
So
Yeah, I didn't come here to take myself serious.
not at all, not at all. And like I told you in this, like, doesn't matter who listens. Like, I'm just excited because I mean, we were, how many years were we, best friends living? I mean, we lived 3 houses down from each other in a town of. This is one of my favorite
Depends
things to
on
tell
which
people.
sign you look at, is how many
Yes,
people are.
yes.
Depends on
Is
which side of town you came in on. One of them's like 1,200, the other's like 2,500. I don't know. There's no way. I don't think there's 2,500.
And what, you have a census every 10 years? That's the thing. Yes, yes. But here's the thing that's hilarious is, like, what signs are they updating? You know, because obviously some numbers have been up. Did they just like decide this year
I got
we're
one
going to
for you. Right?
change this
Hey,
sign?
when's the last time you operated at all based off what the sign says? When's the last time you're like, oh, we got to turn right here? It says I got to go this way to get to Dallas.
Yeah.
Why are we paying for these darn signs, man? Ain't nobody getting to Dallas following the sign.
No, and it still never fails. Like you talk to your grandpa or anyone from an older generation, they're like, oh yeah, you know, that's Highway 7. You're gonna take that about 10 miles, you know, south, and then you're gonna look for, you know, start giving you all these directions. You're
Bro,
like,
not my
it's
grandpa. My grandpa flew an airplane that way, dude. My grandpa
and
had an airplane, and he knew nothing about like whatever. However, I don't even know how pilots figure out which direction to go. Right, like that's above my
yeah,
head. I'm not even gonna pretend. And I work on airplanes my whole life. GPS, right? I got that. But
yeah.
bro, my grandpa told me one time. I asked him, "How do you get?" Because he would fly to Camden to go up there at the airport. Then he would land his plane over there and go in there and get a cup of coffee, something to do, right? And I was
Yeah.
like, how do you, it's got to be pretty quick. And he was like, oh, it takes about the same amount of time. And I was like, what do you mean it takes the same amount of time? Like, he was like, well, you don't have to stop at the stop signs or anything. I was like, what are you talking about? Right. And he was like, yeah, well, you just follow the highways. I follow the same way you go to Camden, but I fly that way. And I was like, okay. I was like, you ever get lost? He said, all the time. It's when you got to fly around and look for water towers that say the name of the town on them.
Well, and you know this, that all that stuff, he has to like submit a flight plan and stuff and everything every time
Who?
they flew those planes, right?
No. Benny Don out of El Dorado? No, bro. Not those little small. No, they just
I
go,
think you
dude.
still have to though. I
Maybe, look, I guarantee you there was never no kind of flight plan submitted by anyone last name Rudell. Never.
I was just sitting here thinking like the trouble it would take. Like if he actually was like, first off, I'm way too lazy to be the person who's like, you know what? I'm just gonna drive to go get. Actually, I'm not even gonna drive to get coffee. I'm just gonna have coffee at my house. But oh gosh, that's hilarious. And then don't even get started on like trying to fly a plane at night. You know,
I would no.
that's
First off, my granddaddy wasn't finna do that because nighttime is for bedtime. Okay, if it's dark outside, you need to be in the bed listening to conservative talk radio.
if it was even, if that sun was even getting close to the top of those
Mm,
trees, hey, we
boy,
better be
you better
wrapping
get
things up.
inside. Evil comes with the night.
And man, your Gaga was so sweet. I mean, she was always
She's
she's
still
just
alive,
like,
so she is sweet.
yeah, yes. But I just hadn't been around her in so long. I was talking about
Yeah,
all the times that I'd been
dude.
around her, but it's,
I was
you know,
talking about that with her the other day, man. We had so much fun out there. For those of y'all who don't know, my grandmother has and granddad, he passed, but they have a little piece of property and a pond and several acres, and we spent a lot of time as a kid out there catching fish and riding four wheelers and getting in trouble.
yeah, running trot lines across that pond and trying to experimenting constantly with soap and anything
Cigarette.
except actually except anything that might actually catch a fish.
Yeah, yeah. No, hold up now. Zote soap catches fish. You can catch a catfish on Zote soap. We caught a
I know
mini,
you
mini
can,
catfish.
but I've never been on an expedition where we actually did.
We did, dude. We used to catch them all the time. Maybe you wasn't on any of the good ones, but we used to catch them on Zote soap. Now on the river, we never could catch them on Zote soap on the
No,
river. We kept trying that.
no,
The
shrimp.
last several
Shrimp
years, I've
was the
been
main
on
thing.
bait. I've been on shrimp.
Yeah,
Shrimp
yeah.
catches them.
You still run? You still run trot lines every now and then?
The last one I ran was probably 3 years ago on the Red River. And I was catching. I actually had lucked out, and we did a big crawfish cook. and they had ordered soup. Like, I don't remember how many sacks they ordered, but we cooked crawfish until I was literally like sweating all day cooking crawfish, and I cooked some mean crawfish. But there was about like a half a sack left, and everybody was just like done. And they were like, "What are we gonna do with these?" And I was like, I got an idea." And I caught a mess of flatheads off those live crawfish on the river.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. Like that would be one of their main sources that they're eating off the bottom. But it sounds crazy whenever you're sitting there talking about, us eating the same things that they love as well too.
Yeah, they don't put like Zatarans on them.
Well, that's why they enjoyed them so much. This is one of the craziest things that came about is, I mean, just so happens, and this wasn't planned at all, but what, you live like 5 minutes from my brother now?
Yeah, that's the weirdest thing ever. But yeah, I do, right down the road.
Yeah.
No, it's completely coincidental.
That, but
no.
Oh, I know you didn't plan that.
Completely coincidental. Super cool though.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've been living here way longer than me. I've lived in the area longer than them, but they've lived in this like exact town for a lot longer.
And one of the craziest things that he was showing me whenever he first went down there was that there's like apps to track like where the nearest crawfish stand is, or to buy
the crawfish app.
Like,
you got to have the crawfish app. And see, it's good. The thing is, they got it going on.
So what are the perks of the crawfish app?
Well, you can do live or cooked. Okay, so if you're coming into town, you and Delaney and the kids are coming into town. Y'all are going to stay at my house. We're going to hang out, and you're like, man, I'm itching for crawfish, and I've been eating them every 2 days since the season started. So I'm like, what's one more? All I'm going to do is get on there and start seeing, hey, well, who's got the cheapest prices? It's going to show me, hey, this restaurant, and you can set it like, oh, within 20 miles of me, within 5 miles of me, within 15 miles of me. And it's going to show you all the restaurants that have cooked crawfish and the prices and the sizes. It has like small, medium, large. Like if they've been known lately to have bigger crawfish, it'll show it, right? And then you could which this is what I use it for, because when you're eating it cooked, you're not that concerned. I mean, you're still worried about the price, but you're not that concerned about how much it is. But when you're cooking, I got a big 100-gallon or 100-quart, crawfish pot, and I do a lot. I cook crawfish a lot. Well, sacks are like anywhere from like 30 to like 37 pounds. So you really got to start thinking about how much it is per pound when you're buying it live.
And where were these poundages, this weight decided? Like, who decided on 37 pounds?
So I think and I'm sure if there's anybody ever goes back and watches this more than like our moms, they're gonna there's gonna be somebody.
Shout out to the moms.
Yeah, shout out moms. There's gonna be somebody that'll correct me on this, but I'm pretty sure they're shooting for 30 pounds, but it's just kind of hard to nail it. So it's always in that range. I don't know.
Well, and
or
that's
or
kind of
it's
the
the size,
like
the size of the sack. Pause.
It very well could be it's probably the French did probably the metric system.
Stop it. No, we didn't. Stop. Can you edit that out? It's not.
No,
it's not the metric system.
It's got to be.
It can't be. It can't be.
Man, I had something great to talk about and completely forgot. This is the great part of our podcast, is you're going to run into us. You're seeing us figure this out in this. So
don't have me on something if you don't want this to happen.
Yeah. No, so this is the first time that we've ever recorded anything. So we're just hopping into it.
Can you tell?
Yeah. You're gonna get
this thing
all the flaws and everything all at once, but you got to start somewhere. So
this episode, by the way, is not yet brought to you by Diet Coke.
Yeah.
But it could be.
Our goal A is to reach people for Christ, to spread the word. Goal B, get sponsored by Coca-Cola.
Diet. Yeah, no, Diet Coke.
Well,
you know how I feel about them zeros.
I'm Coke Zero. Yeah.
You would have brought that on the pod.
They're delicious. And
Paul didn't say nothing in Corinthians about that.
It's I'm sure he did. I mean, all it's got is sodium. So basically it's just salt water, I think is what that
Hey,
is.
that hydrates you, I hear.
Yes, just as good as Diet Coke.
It's the same thing.
What's your old pops up to these days?
Not a whole lot, man. He's been killing deer.
Does he have any hobbies? He's killing deer?
He's been killing deer. He goes back and forth every other year. He's a deer hunter. And then the years that he's not a deer hunter, he wants nothing to do with it. It's kind of, which I understand in a way, because if you have like a bad year, deer hunting sucks because and it depends on kind of how you're looking at it, but when you're hunting on like private land, you could spend a lot of time and effort, planting food plots, putting up he's fighting hogs. Yeah, money.
Oh god.
He's fighting hogs all the time, so he's having to come up with new ways to feed corn but keep the hogs out of them. Or you plant food plots and the hogs come in as soon as they start coming up and tear up everything you got. So it's like, and then if that happens and then you don't kill any deer, it's just kind of like by next year you're like, dude, this sucks. I don't want to do this again. And then in his defense too, like I'm over here with like 4 kids and all, I'm 2 hours away, but like that might as well be 8 sometimes with the number of kids I got and stuff like that. And they're all young. So it's like, I can't always get there to help out. He don't have people helping him out. So it's like this year they did a lot and he pretty well did it by himself. So I'm glad he's killing some deer.
And knowing him, like if he, and I say knowing him, I haven't talked to your dad in probably 10 years, but knowing him, it's like whenever he gets, I mean, really just like us, whenever he gets really into something, he's like all about it. Like I remember whenever he started running, and then he was like, I think he ran to Shreveport one time.
I don't think he did that.
But
I don't think he did
that. I remember it.
Yeah, what did he go down there? He just came down to the boat real quick. Put 100 on the craps table and ran back when it was gone.
Better run back for supper. So.
No, I don't think he did that ever. But
no,
I'm sure he would appreciate you telling people that he did that.
That's how I remember it. I just remember he
ran a lot, dude, and he was running lots of races, like 5Ks and 10Ks and stuff. I think he ran a half marathon. He wasn't playing around. He's super healthy now. You wouldn't recognize. I don't know if you've seen him in a while. You wouldn't recognize him, dude. He lost probably 60 or so pounds.
My goodness.
Yeah, he's healthy, man. He's super healthy. He walks like he goes to the park every day after work and walks for an hour.
I don't know why that's funny to me.
Dude, I don't know.
Just going to the park,
Dude, and he don't eat nothing but healthy food. He don't touch nothing bad.
Man. So
he's a very disciplined person.
Yeah. I've started to convert my wife. My wife is, when I first met her, like she didn't touch fried food. And then now, every now and then she'll be like, what do you want for dinner tonight? I'll be like, fry me up some chicken. And she's like, okay. And we'll do it. But normally it's like.
What do you think the reason is for that? Did her family eat healthy all the time?
I mean, no, not particularly. I mean, they don't like eat super unhealthy. Her dad raises beef. Not like so he's got a window tinting business that's his own business. And then from like whenever he gets off work, he also has like 40 acres at his house.
Okay.
And
I wasn't laughing, by the way, at Delaney's dad. It's the way he's telling this story. It's like
So
You start out, he's a beef farmer, and then we were a window tint
well,
business.
so his cattle farm is on the side, so he keeps normally like 8 head of cattle.
Isn't that
it's like
backwards?
his hobby.
Tell him that's backwards. He needs to have a full-time cattle farm and do window tint on the side.
I mean, to be honest, he would probably. I don't know if he would prefer that, but he does. I mean, they've got an awesome place. They've got like a pretty small pond, but he just stocked it like 2 years ago with like a ton of perch and some catfish, and like built this huge dock, this huge like floating dock on like a track system, so he can like pull it across. You can fish anywhere you want to on it.
Oh, that's cool.
And so my oldest son, who's 4 now, dude, he'll go out there and he'll catch, like, no joke, he'll sit there and catch like 30-40 brim just sitting there in one spot on the dock. And it's just as soon as you can, like, I'm having to teach him now, like, I feel like you're old enough now where like you can probably handle a hook without poking yourself, too bad, because I'm tired of putting worms on your hook. And then my middle child, that second born, he's just like got a hook on the end, not even a worm on there, and just like trying to throw it as far as he can, hooking everyone in the side of the leg or the back, and just constantly taking us all out.
So, they're all different.
They are.
That's the craziest part about kids. They're all different. Out of the 4, one's an infant, but I have one that is like the wildest joker you ever met, that don't think about nothing but fun all the time, and is a clown. I have one that is afraid of her own shadow, but
probably sweet as all get out though, huh?
But is bad at home, but adorable. Anywhere she goes, everybody thinks that she is like this quiet as a mouse, like perfect little angel. And then I have one that's like, they're just all different. They're all personalities are different. If you take them all fishing, just like what you're talking about, they're all going to do something different.
And Hudson will like get on to everyone, be like, so I've been fishing with them a lot. And we have a little pond in our neighborhood, and we'll go and we'll take the golf cart and go fish there. And so I've been putting like a spinnerbait on or something and throw it and reel it in. He's like, he'll get mad at me. He'll be like, Dad, what are you doing reeling it in? He's like, if you don't let it sit there, you're not going to catch anything.
Like he's heard that a time or two.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I appreciate that you're getting the lesson, but this one's different. You see, then you have to explain everything. And by the time you're done explaining it to them, it's like, okay, I should have kept that way shorter, because now I'm stuck in the endless loop of questions about questions, and it's just like, you know what? Don't worry about it. Just it's different.
Yeah.
So,
anyways,
yeah,
dude, I love it.
So,
kids drive me absolutely insane, but it's just a whole new kind of fun. Like there's always times where it's like, which I know in the next episode, we're going to talk more about like taking kids hunting and stuff. But
yeah, but I mean, everything's free game. We can talk about it.
Yeah. But on that for a second, man, it's like, this year's been so crazy for me because I want to kill a deer, but I really want my boy to kill a deer.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, and he almost did. We'll talk more. I'm not going to spoil that. He almost did the other day. Dangerously close.
I'll have to figure out how to get that picture up that you sent me.
Yeah.
Just like,
dude, it was like, and it was the best feeling ever too, by the way. But like, it's just kind of hard because it's like, selfishly, like the selfish part that, we have to learn to bury as men. Like we have to bury that guy. But he's there, I think. I don't think I'm the only one that he's there. If I am, I'm embarrassed, but it is what it is. Like, I want to be in a tree smoking a deer. You know what I mean? Like, I want to do it. But it's like
100%.
but I want to take him too, and I want him to do it. And I also, there's that part of me that knows that's what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? So I'm like, and this is my first year where he's even remotely old enough, and that's questionable. Like, I think him almost killing a deer the other day kind of opens it up a little bit more, but I think for the most part, like even at his age, which is just almost 6, that's questionable. But I've never had to fight that fight before. I'm sure in 2 or 3 years I'll have killed the old me that wants to, because I should look. Hey, I ain't never been afraid to shoot a little deer. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Hey, I'd tell you same
Never,
here.
bro. And
Same
I
here.
don't care what.
Those are some
And I
tender
don't care
back
what
straps.
nobody says. I shoot whatever I want.
So, and like you said, we'll talk about it some more. But I saw this was already a controversial thing that me and you talked about. I saw some does the other day.
Yeah.
With
Save
the
that
boys
one.
out,
Save that one.
So I messed up, and I think as we like for someone who, and I think you have a lot of hobbies as well too. Would MA say you have a lot of hobbies?
No, probably not.
No.
I have. No, I wouldn't say so.
And not all at once, but like I'll pick something up
Yeah.
and like I'm really into it for a while, and then it fades out every time. But now my boys are starting to get old enough to like see the things I'm doing and want to do that as well too. So I made the mistake this year of like I can just take them to the woods with me on public land, and like because they've got like a bunch of like these big fields and food plots that are pretty easy to walk to. I've got places that I hunt as well too that it's like it's a hike in there. Like I'm obviously not going to take them in there, but there's some easy spots to go set up, and like we saw some deer, so you can definitely see deer there. But all that to be said, like coming up, the weather's going to be starting to kind of get pretty chilly up here. We got another cold front coming through, and I'm like, man, I really want to go, but I've already like said I would take both the boys hunting, so I've taken my oldest, and now I've got to take my middle son before I can like do any solo hunting.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna like next week Thanksgiving, I think. Yeah, okay, so I took off like the Wednesday before and like planned this out for weeks, and like already talked with Delaney like, hey, this is the one day I'm gonna go out, and like I'm probably just gonna be in the woods all day. But I've got to get both the kids in the woods first before that can happen, so I've got to get Harry out in the woods this weekend. So that will be another adventure for sure, because he's the crazy one. Hudson will sit there and be quiet and like for the most part, but Harry's my wild child. He's the one he's gonna be freaking out. So
Little advice for you, man. Toys and snacks, man. That's because my oldest is a lot like what you're describing Harry to be.
Yeah.
Like my oldest is like can't be tamed. He's the boss. Wild, like
yeah.
So I get it. I would say just something to keep them occupied. Like mine can play with like Legos kind of relatively quietly.
Yeah.
And then when he gets bored, he eats snacks.
So
Lots of snacks.
Hudson was all about, well, yeah. So he ate 3 hot dogs, and 4 chicken nuggets while we were out there. But he was more into just having his scissors out there, and he wanted to bring his scissors so he could cut down the tall grass.
Trying to cut some
He was
stuff
just
up.
down in the bottom.
Okay.
I bought a ground blind just to go out there so he could be in it. He's just down in the bottom of the ground blind, just cutting grass down there. I'm like, there's
Dude, I
worse
demolished
things
a
that could be
ground
going
blind
on.
yesterday. I was putting out a ground blind yesterday, a brand new, a really cheap muddy ground blind that was on sale at Academy for $100. And I went to pop one of them corners out, dude, and snapped it. It was straight out of the box.
Oh my gosh.
Straight out of the box in the woods. And I was just going gorilla on that thing, like bop, bop.
So this was the first time I'd ever set one up, and I'm like setting it up before I leave. Like I've never dealt with a ground blind before.
Yeah.
And
clearly me either, I guess. I have, but I act like I hadn't.
Yeah, but I mean I was pretty embarrassed of like how long it took to like for me to get all the sides popped out on and stuff. Like it was a whole ordeal. I was like, this is gonna go terrible in the woods, but it actually ended up it went all right. So
I just tied the broken side to a tree, stake the rest of it down, keep on keeping on, baby.
Can you explain my favorite lock-on deer stand that you've ever hung over by our old house where we grew up, that had the screw in? It was a death trap.
No, man, all these people with these climbing sticks are sissies, dude. We didn't have climbing sticks when I was a kid. I had a bat and harnesses. Harnesses? Really? I had a ghillie suit, okay? Snipers don't wear harnesses, all right, son? Yes. Get with the program. Listen, so I had screw-in tree steps that go like this. It's a metal step that has a threaded end on it like a screw, and you got to put one in the tree, and then you got to step on that bad boy, and then you got to put the next one in. That's your next step, okay? And then
it's not like a super quick process going into the tree.
No, several years. Takes several years. Takes several years. By the time you get up there, all right, you've had a birthday, all right.
Deer season's over.
Okay, you might as well light a fire, hang out. You got a while till October. Yeah. But next year you could shoot at some deer on a corn pile in the woods in town, smack over Arkansas.
There you go, though, man. And I just remember one time, like I was not with you when you hung this, and you're like, dude, you got.
No, I was like a man. I
check
hung
out
it
where
by
this.
myself.
You were like, dude, you got to come check this out where it says climb up there.
It was awesome, dude.
I remember going up in it, and like whenever you had to get onto the actual spot where you sat down, it was like you had to do something where you had to like wrap your leg around the tree.
Yeah, man. I ran out of steps, man. And we were poor. Yeah. We didn't have more steps.
Because 25 feet in the air wasn't high enough. We needed another 5 foot.
Those steps were like 70 cents a piece at Walmart, all right? It wasn't no like, go get some more steps, all right? No, you better just step your tail over there into that deer stand and hunt. Because shut up.
Not only was it another 70 cents, you had to drive all that 20 minutes to Walmart, which was, I mean, who's doing that?
We weren't even old enough to drive when I was like when we were hunting that stand, we didn't even drive then.
No, that was the 4-wheeler days. I mean,
dude, I used to shoot deer. Goodness. I used to bow shoot deer straight into the shoulder blades out there. And then I would go back. My dad would be at work, and Blaine Dolden, shout out Blaine. Blaine Dolden's dad, Stacy, shout out Stacy, will come help me try to blood trail them in the woods. We never find none of them. Dude. It's terrible, man. Like I'd be like, look, R.I.P. man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
And you're just like, I know I smoked that thing, and it's
But hey, in my defense, dude, I was I was about 14, 15 years old, and I had that deer target out there in the yard.
Yeah,
and it had a foam insert right in the shoulder blade.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
They say you shoot them in the shoulder. I do it with a gun all the time. Why can't it work with a bow?
Yeah. Well,
turns out it's not a good idea.
No. And I mean, neither you or I had any idea what we were doing. We had no one to like teach us. I mean, I guess we had the internet. Like we were a little more educated than some of the people before us.
Dude, in South Arkansas, that would have been probably what, 2009, 2008, South Arkansas. people make fun of you for hunting with a bow.
Oh, 100%.
Why would you do that? You got a gun. And hey, look, and I really have a hard time with that logic, you know. I don't know if they're wrong or right, you know, but I killed a lot more with a gun.
Yeah. And, hey, but I will say, I've now had the pleasure of taking 2 with a bow, and
yeah, man.
it is pretty cool. But also, I've had a lot more just crazy things happen, and like deer absolutely see me before I ever got a shot. I remember there was that stand that we had set up behind your old church as well too.
Yeah.
You got permission to go back there.
Yep. Behind
And
Cornerstone, yeah.
I remember it was like a 3-pointer showed up one morning, and I almost fell out of the stand. I was back there. I was shaking so bad when that thing walked in. I just remember I felt like I could hear the arrow rattling on that whisker biscuit, man. And just sitting there going, man.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, dude, what a terrible arrow rest. But dude, I remember like you had to have a whisker biscuit. You know, I got these freaking sick followaways now, but like the whisker biscuit, bro, was it. If you had a Matthews DXT with a whisker biscuit on it, nobody could tell you nothing.
No, I still have a whisker biscuit because I bought a bow for.
Well, if you got it dialed in with that thing, you got it dialed in.
Well, and I don't shoot enough, so I don't take a shot over. Well, I try not to take a shot over 15, 20 yards.
Yeah.
Now, certain deer walks out, you know, sometimes you just got to let one fly, you know, see where it lands. So, dude, I don't think that's
a while back
thing to do, but.
No, I wouldn't say that, but, you know, nobody ever called us that. Dude, a while back.
Judged for much worse.
My dad got the drop on, dude, and started. I'd say it's probably honestly been like 7 or 8 years, maybe longer. My dad and just talking about how he's like, we need to get crossbows. We got all these box stands out here and food plots. If we get a crossbow in Arkansas, you can hunt from when it opens in the early fall all the way through February. And I'm like, it's not a bad idea. I went and bought like a $300 crossbow with a scope on it. And we sighted it in as soon as I bought it, and that thing hadn't been touched yet. My dad, he bought his own, but sometimes he lets Teeny use one, and he'll hunt with the other. He's killed 3 deer. All 3 of them deer he's killed this year were with my crossbow. He just smokes deer with crossbow.
And they're just extremely accurate these days.
They're super accurate, dude. They're super accurate. It's and you can shoot them way farther, and you can shoot them from your same box stands. Like if you're a private land hunter with a bunch of box stands and food plots, keep doing what you're doing and go buy a crossbow. Unless your pride's in the way. I'm gonna tell you right now, dude, that's the way to go. You can hunt all year.
We're about meat in the freezer.
Oh, you know,
we don't have a bunch of trophies to show.
Don't ask me about no trophies, bro. I shoot anything.
I hear you.
I've always been that way.
I was just thinking the other day of like
that ain't good.
No, not at all. But like just the fact that we used to go out and spend like all night long on the river running trout lines when we were in high school.
Dude,
like just imagining like letting my kids go out and do that. I don't know why. Like I don't know why our parents trusted us, and I'm sure they didn't. I'm sure we just wore them down so bad that they were just like, whatever, go.
Dude, I was listening to Hayden, Alabama podcast the other day. Shout out Hayden, Alabama podcast.
Yes, yes,
hilarious podcast. And Mr. Robin, brother Blink, was telling some story, and I don't even remember the details. His stories are hilarious, but I don't even remember the details. But it was something about somebody was cranking on a boat motor, and he was making like the sounds of it. And all that came to mind, my wife was in the room watching it, and I was like, "Babe, you ain't gonna believe this story." And I told her about, and you may not even remember this, when we were
the barge.
stuck on the river at Callion in the middle of the night. What were we doing, dude? Dude, I would crap myself if one of my kids was down on the river at Callion. Like, that's
Luckily,
a long way from where we're from. Dude, in the middle, what were we even doing?
We were fishing.
Either way, dude. So we're down there on the river, me and Landon. We're not in. I always had a boat, and him and his brother always had a boat together, kind of like y'all always shared a boat.
Well, I just got everything my brother had ended up being mine as a hand-me-down. So, like, Logan had gone to college. Now he didn't have anywhere for a boat in college, so now I've got a boat.
Yeah. So then we're in his boat, and we're out in the middle of the river, which is like, I still don't know were we catfishing? Were we tightlining? What were we doing?
We were catfishing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, mind y'all, the same exact river runs through our town. So, or almost. So we could have been on the river there and been close to home, but for some reason in the middle of the night we were like 30 miles away or 20 miles away at a different spot on the river. I don't know. There was barge traffic back then up close to where we are. There's not anymore, but
it was still pretty rare.
Yeah, but
I felt like,
but down there at Callion, it's not rare.
Yeah,
and we were down there in the middle of the river, and all of a sudden I'm like, dang, what's that big old light that's right there in the middle of the river? But you couldn't hear any sound. Landon he'd look over there and he's like, I don't know what that is, but it looks like it's getting closer. And both of us are so stupid that we're just like, I don't know. And so when that thing's probably
fast,
that thing's probably like 40, 50 yards away here. And I was like, oh, that's a barge, dog. And Landon go to crank it on that boat motor, and it won't crank. It's like, and I mean, if it wasn't like God designed it, that thing hit right. I mean, I bet we probably missed that. I'm probably exaggerating, but I bet you that thing was 10, 20 feet away when we finally got that throttle. I mean, we were in its wake on the way out. Like,
we were much closer than we ever should have been. I can guarantee you that.
We about died.
That was not a good ordeal.
No,
I think I still have shoulder problems from that specific.
You probably
time.
do. You probably do.
I was giving that thing everything I had.
I just remember, it's so funny how life works, right? Because I don't remember exactly what we were fishing for, but I bet I was fired up because anytime we were on the river, I was happy. I even to this day, like, I think back, like, I don't have a river. No river meets the standard. Like here where I'm at, I get on the Red River all the time, but it's huge and there's rock banks and like it just ain't the same thing, man. It's not comfortable for a smaller boat, you know. But like I always just like think back to our days on the Washita River. But that night, I do remember just really wanting to go home after that.
And change my pants.
Yeah, let me go get some new draws. Okay.
Yeah.
And a nap.
Once that barge passes
Pass me one of the
boat
ball
ramp,
balls.
we're gonna go home. So I don't think there was much fishing that got done after that.
Dude, who was I with? One time, was it me, you, and Logan in my fiberglass boat full of water coming out of Felsenthal? After duck hunting, it was like freezing cold and it was like it was like all the way full of water. And I think it was me, you, and Logan.
That sounds right. Or maybe me and you and John.
No, that was a different time when John fell in. That was on a snow day from school. And we were whacking them, dude.
One of the only times we ever killed.
Shout out John Thornton. Because this story, if we tell this story, is not to be offensive at all. If you were in John's shoes, you would be doing the same exact thing, I promise you. But we had no mercy on him because we were smoking ducks. It was a snow day from school, and our buddy John, it was like me, Landon. I think it was just the three of us, right?
Unless, I think that's right. But for some reason, I wanted to say maybe like Chance or TJ were there as well too. But
Maybe
I can't
so,
remember being for sure.
or Cody Stringer possibly.
Maybe.
I don't know, but anyways, for sure us three. And we went out. There was absolutely no one at Felsenthal. But all the schools were closed.
It was a weekday.
It was the middle of the week, and we rode out there in the snow in that boat. And but I mean, as we're putting out decoys, it was the coldest it's been in South Arkansas in years. It was probably in the single digit temperatures, and we're putting out decoys, breaking ice, and John falls in before it's even.
I just remember how foggy it was too, man. Like,
oh yeah. Because I think
you couldn't even see the ducks coming in.
So stupid.
They were just on you, man.
Dude, so a lot of the things we used to do, I would never do now. I'd just be like, no,
it was so dumb,
bro.
But
we were smoking ducks in our face, and he was in the boat, and it was like all you could hear was like, and dude, he was dying. I mean, he was literally dying, man. Like he was like frostbite.
This just goes back to how selfish we are as well too, is because
it was so terrible.
Like, man, come on,
dude, somebody should have took that dude home. And it's not even if John, if you ever see this dude, it's not your fault. If I would have fell in, I'd have been just as big, just as bad at crying. But he fell in, and we showed no mercy until we killed our limit and his.
One thing we need to go ahead and just make sure we need to do some research on the statutes and limitations before
allegedly we killed our ducks and his allegedly
before we get to talking about all of our stories, because I'm not I think John had already shot his limit, so we just
John John. Yeah. I'm probably misremembering that.
Yeah. Oh man, there was, and like the backstory of it was me and you did not miss a single time that was available to go duck hunting. We were, as from the time we could drive.
I miss them all now.
You had a boat. Yeah. Yes, same with kids now. It's like, man, it's so expensive. I don't got time to get back into that. So, but
yeah.
So that was kind of the backstory of it. Is we had been so much and not killed ducks, and it's like, so now we're finally killing ducks, and it's like we're sitting here torn. It's like, because John also too, like he was like making some noises in the boat, but also be like, John, do we need to leave? And he's like, no,
that's true.
No, we're good. You know, he would be like, no, yeah, but then it'd go back. I just remember we'd be calling and we could hear him in the boat. We're like, man.
Sometimes you just gotta cry a little bit, man. I would have too if I was in his shoes. That would have been terrible. We were cold and we weren't wet.
And we were dry. Yeah.
And he went into his neck. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
It was one of them slow falls, one of them waiter falls where you knew you were falling 5 minutes ago. You just finally made it to the water.
Oh gosh, man. Yes.
I felt like that a lot. That's why I'm not making fun of him.
No, man. It's so funny that you mentioned that fiberglass boat, because I completely forgot about that thing. All I ever thought about was you having an aluminum boat, but I mean, for probably a whole year, you had the fiberglass boat. Still to this day, not a more dependable engine though than that was it a 15 Johnson?
Yeah, 1985 15 horse Johnson. Yeah.
Dude, that thing cranked up every single time.
That's the best motor I've ever had. Yeah.
Dude, that thing was gold. It was gold. It was exactly what we needed. We didn't need anything faster. We just needed it to start.
Yep. Yeah.
Anything faster, we would have died.
I went to my mom's on. I wasn't even 16. I turned 16 in January. I went to my mom's at Christmas, and on Christmas morning there was it was a used like 12-foot fiberglass boat. Malibu was the brand, and it was like orange, and it had a tiller handle, 1985 tiller handle Johnson on it. And you couldn't tell me nothing. I was at my mom's for a couple of weeks. Me and my granddad took the boat and put it in a pond, and I hauled butt all around it, and it was all I ever wanted because I'd watched. My dad had pictures hanging up all over the house of like his duck hunting days. He used to be real big into it, and he always had a tiller handle boat, and you couldn't tell me anything. So went over. I got that thing back to Arkansas, man, and we painted that thing camouflage and went hunting. You'd run up on stumps and it would sound like a creaky staircase in like one of those old haunted houses type deals. You're like,
well, and the worst part about it is I'd be riding in the front, and I mean we've all hit stumps and different things in a flat bottom boat, and I mean you just kind of just go straight across it. Well, this was a V bottom. This was a deep V.
So, it had like 2 or 3 V's. Like you could turn it on a dime. You could turn that thing wide open in the middle of the river, and it would never miss a beat.
But you hit a stump in that thing. It didn't go over straight. You'd hit it and you go over at an angle.
Yeah, you might die.
No, you had to be ready to correct whenever that thing landed. Oh man.
Yeah, and then I eventually ended up buying a John boat and trailer from somebody.
I think was it Chris? Was it Chris Cook?
It may have been. Me and Chris, for a little while, shout out Chris Cook. I'm shout out everybody.
And shout out Scott Cook because he texted me the other day.
Just because.
And he said he was going to watch. So, there's another viewer. So.
Heck yeah. I ain't talked to him in a long time, man. That's a good dude.
And if we shout out Scott, we got to shout out Todd.
Shout out Todd. So, you already know. He already knows. Yeah. Love you, Todd. Love you, Scott. Yeah. But yeah, no, I shared a boat with Chris one time too. So I don't know if I think I bought that boat from him, and then later on I sold that boat, and then Chris had a boat, no motor. I had a motor, no boat. So we was like 2 peas and carrots, 2 peas in a pod. So put that motor on his boat, and then we just shared a boat for like 2 years.
Yeah, it worked out. Chris is one of the funniest people I've ever met.
He's hilarious.
Him and your dad would get going. I mean, those are the people that should have had a podcast back in the day.
He's good people.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We need to tell him about Smokin Dave.
Smokin Dave. Speaking,
do we have time to talk about Smokin Dave right now?
Of course, it's our podcast. We
have time to do whatever we want. Try to stop us. Try to stop us, Zuckerberg.
If anyone's made it this far,
they're trying to shut us down, Landon. They're trying to shut us down. They're trying to censor us.
I don't think anyone is attacking this podcast for sure.
I'm not going to put up with it. Well, look, we'll go to what are those other Rumble?
No. This is one of my flaws of storytelling is I've got to give all the backstory. I find it very important.
Please do.
And it drives my wife crazy, but you got to give the backstory to any good story. So, as you well know, at First Baptist Church of Smackover, my mom plays the piano. My grandma, my nanny, shout out nanny. She plays the organ for years. Chachi, who's my grandpa, ran the sound. Couldn't hear, but ran the sound. And then my I mean, that's just how it is. And then my aunt and uncle sang in the choir, and I did for a while as well too. So, everyone was at church. Everyone had to be at church. And so, I mean, Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, that was with my mom, you didn't miss church. That was non-negotiable. Well, the only time we had to go run trot lines was on the weekend. So Friday nights, we'd normally go set it, and then we'd run it, Saturday, we go check it Saturday morning, and then go check it Sunday morning. So we go to check Sunday morning, and one of our normal buddies, we noticed he was there at the boat ramp whenever we went to launch. His name was Smokin Dave. I don't think he named himself that. I think we just named him that.
I think we did, yeah.
I don't even remember if Dave was his actual name, but
just looked like a Dave.
He was Smokin Dave, and
he smoked
always the tank top with the front pocket right here, Pall Malls, and I mean, you could tell he was just one of those guys. He was lighting his next cigarette with another cigarette that was about to go out. That was Smokin Dave. That was the way he rolled. Well, we say hello to Smokin Dave Sunday morning as we're going to check the trot line. I think we had 2 or 3 catfish on. We go and retrieve that and get the boat loaded back up, everything, or we get back to the boat ramp, and I go to back in my truck, 97 F-150, named Kate, and keys are locked inside. So, and this is Sunday morning before church. That is non-negotiable to not miss. So now I'm like, well, this is not good. Blake and I are never going to get to, I'm never going to get to go run trot lines again with Blake because I miss church. So I explained to Blake what's going on.
I was going to church too, by the way. Okay.
Yes,
just a different church. All right. Yes. So I had to be somewhere too. Okay. Not just him. I'm a Christian too. Go ahead.
We both had to make it to church, but it was more important for me to make sure I was at church. So, at this point, I'm explaining to Blake what's going on. We're locked out. I don't know what we're going to do. Spoon Bend is not close to, it's not far away, but it's far enough that it's an inconvenience for anyone to come help us out.
You're saying there's no Buc-ee's like on the way there or anything, right?
Oh, okay. No, not at all. There is no Buc-ee's.
Okay, no Buc-ee's. So it's out there.
I guess Smokin Dave has caught wind that there is an issue going on now between me and you, and he shows up to save the day, and he starts assessing the situation, walking around my truck, and about that time you got a flathead screwdriver? Just so happened I had a flathead screwdriver in the back of my truck.
In the bed.
Yeah, in the bed of my truck. Yeah. And then next thing I know, he's over there and he's got his fingers, and the antenna was not loose. But somehow Smokin Dave has gotten the antenna loosened up with his fingers and has got it off. Hand him the flathead screwdriver. He goes at the top of the door seal, runs the antenna down, and hits the unlock button, and just hands it back to us. And here you go, boys. And we're like, look at each other, and at that time we're like, okay, well, I guess we're into the truck now. We start after we get everything loaded up and like are gone. We're like, dude, Smokin Dave could have stole my truck at any point, or anything that was inside of there. It was Smokin Dave's. So, but, dude, we had so many just fun times down there. We got into a lot of trouble ourselves, and probably more than we should have. But, dude, we had so much fun just riding the river, man. Like that was such a big part of our lives together, and like where a lot of our friendship came from was just riding the river, running trot lines, just hanging out, man.
Yeah. Well, one thing let's talk about with Smokin Dave deal that we had kind of discussed a little bit the other day is, you just almost hit the nail on the head. And I ain't trying to get too serious with all of it, but
no.
You were saying he could have stole your truck at any time. Think about that. He didn't.
No.
And now when he's telling the story about Smokin Dave was a rough character. Shout out Smokin Dave. Sorry if you're out there. But he's in a rough Winnebago type deal, and he's in the middle of nowhere by himself.
And there was no other people at the boat ramp. Like it was just us and Smokin Dave.
There's no running water or like electricity to hook up to. Like this ain't even barely a boat ramp. This is
a dirt
gravel
road that leads off into the water, basically.
A non-Christian to look at these people and look at him and maybe judge him a little bit, like maybe he's doing some drugs down here. I don't know what he was doing, but I don't think he was up to no good based off kind of what you're saying. They could have stole your truck at any time. He didn't, but he knew how,
Did.
And that points to something the scripture we did say was going to try to make this about a little bit of scripture. What was the verses in 2 Peter?
Chapter 2, verses, I think it was 20 and 21.
20 and 21.
Yeah, that's it. 20 and 21.
So if we weren't clear earlier, we're gonna podcast and chit chat like we are. We're never gonna get too serious, but we're always gonna have some kind of story that ties in with a little bit of scripture, just so we can kind of talk about and let this thing glorify the man upstairs. So I'm in 2 Peter chapter 2. We'll start with verse 20. For if after they have escaped the pollutions of the world through the knowledge of the Lord and the Savior Jesus Christ, they are again entangled therein and overcome, the latter end is worse with them than in the beginning. For it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness than after they have known it, to turn from the holy commandment delivered unto them. That's pretty crazy when you read it. I've read that over and over again, and I actually read it to my kid not too long ago because he got saved not too long ago, and we got in trouble. And I was like, hey, the Bible's very specific. I grew up kind of hearing the once saved, always saved, and I'm not here to debate that theology by any stance because I don't know, right? But I know what that says. And that tells me that we're not allowed to just turn right around and live a different way once we know better. Once we know the Lord, we're not allowed to do that. Now, that's not to say it won't happen, but we're not allowed to live in that. We're not allowed to do that. And when I think of what happened with Smokin Dave and that little piece of his past came out, right? Now, in that instance, he was using that to help us. He was using that for good. So I'm not here to say nothing bad about Smokin Dave, but it's a shining example to me of what can happen to us as Christians that are trying to live for the Lord when we have a past, when we have things we've struggled with in the past, when we have things we picked up in a part of our life that we no longer want to live. Look how easy and how quick that can come back into your life. And that's what it made me think of, is like how quick, if we're not careful, if we don't, and there's lots of scripture about guarding your heart and guarding yourself from that kind of thing. But if we're not careful, how quick can something from the past jump back in on us,
Yeah, I mean, it took, all Smokin Dave needed was just a second. He was back in, knew how to get inside that truck, no problem. And, like you're saying, that's easy to happen to us as well, too, if you're not careful. The world is set up to take us down. We have to fight against our flesh, fight against the world to follow the Lord. So, that's such a big point that I think you're making there is like, and I think what the scripture's saying is, for us to not fall back into that life. Like, yes, exactly like you're saying, we're going to have slip ups. None of us are going to be perfect, but I think the further you get along in your walk, you're able to realize like, hey, I messed up. Let's go ahead and ask for forgiveness right now. Get right with the Lord right now and not let one sin turn into two. I had a Sunday school teacher at the past church we were going to who I loved the way that he kind of illustrated it. And he was talking about like he was teaching his kids about this of like your path of like walking with God is like the sidewalk. And like whenever you're young in your walk, you'll let one step off the sidewalk turn into another step off. And before you know it, you're out in the middle of the road, like about to get hit by a car. And as you get more mature and start learning in your faith, then you like, I take one step off and you're like, oh, nope, that's not where I need to be, and get right back on the path. And I've always loved that illustration and just thought it was like so applicable because it's, I think a lot of people think that like once you're saved and once you are trying to really turn your life around, that you've got it all together. But that's the farthest thing from the truth. Like we all still have struggles that we deal with and are gonna slip up at times, but it's all about trying your best and your heart being in leading a life more towards God.
Amen. So it's crazy that you say that. I literally heard my preacher, shout out Pastor James, Word of God Ministries, this past week was brought up, like how kind of I'm going to butcher how he said it, but basically immature Christians also bail as soon as something bad happens, or as soon as they're tempted with something or whatever. Like, people that are young in their faith or new in their faith are quick to fall back because it didn't go perfect, when it's not going to go perfect at all. He referenced James 1, James 1:2, where it says, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, that the trying of your faith works patience, et cetera, right? But I love that analogy about, I didn't mean to take it that direction, but I love the analogy about falling off the curb, and then just next thing you know, you're in traffic. That's pretty, I'm going to try to remember that and not butcher that.
Yeah. It's I think that's the biggest thing, is just like those simple things stick with me because I'm a simple person. That was one of the funny things about like, so I don't want to take it all away from where we were, but just like one of the funny things about, I think you and I both have been like into all of these videos of like how to start a podcast, how to do this.
Yeah.
And,
we've been all over that last couple of weeks.
Yeah. And all of them are like, well, fine, what are you an expert in? What do you know a lot about?
I'm so glad you're bringing. Come on, brother, because I think we're on the same page.
I can talk a lot, but I'm not an expert in anything, man. Like at all.
No, dude.
So
I've dabbled in a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't like. I duck calls, for sure. Cutting grass, for sure. That's really it, and neither of those was I ever an expert.
And you're an aspiring golfer now, right?
No, so I'm in this. I'm the guy who owns golf clubs, and about every year, I go once.
Do y'all have a Top Golf down there in Louisiana?
No, we have a new one called Chasing Aces.
Okay. I actually saw it.
It's cool. I haven't been yet, but I watched the videos on it. It looks like exactly the same thing. But they have I want to say they have like a 9-hole that you can play too on the river. It's a cool place. I watched the owner did an interview on like with the local news talking about how it's different. There was a few ways, but mostly it's top.
Yeah. Shout out.
Shout out Chasing Aces. I called you guys knockoff Top Golf, but only because it sounded cool.
We know nothing about y'all, but hey, shout out to y'all.
Yeah, don't be mad at me. Knock off Top Golf.
Well, sir, do you have anything else you'd like to get to for this episode, or?
I don't think so, man. Thank y'all. If you watch this, like, you must be bored, but thank you.
Yeah, thank y'all so much. I hope at the very least, you were able to laugh at how dumb we are, and hopefully sharing some of the laughs in some of our stories, because it really is a lot of fun for us. So thank you. And
we just found out it's a lot of fun for us. It's the first time.
Yeah, we found out in real time right now. So, but thank you all, and we'll see you next time.